You know that feeling, right? You're in a room, someone makes a joke, and it just lands with a thud. The silence that follows is so loud you can almost hear it. Well, today we're going to decode that exact moment. We're going to use a brilliant tool called Dr. Shungu Magadza's 6 stages framework to really understand something she calls stage minus one bias. So, to really get this, let's start with a story. Think of it as a little parable for the modern workplace. It all kicks off on a totally normal Friday morning in a totally normal staff room. And then someone says this. It's tossed out there, super lighthearted, kind of meant as a joke. The person who said it is smiling, waiting for everyone else to laugh along. But nobody laughs, not a single person. Instead, you see a few people suddenly get really interested in their coffee mugs. Someone else kind of shuffles their feet. The whole vibe in the room just shifts. That joke didn't just fall flat. It did something way worse. Okay, so let's meet the person who said it. We'll call her Emily. Now, Emily's not a villain here. She's a composite character, but you've probably worked with someone like her. She's great at her job, people like her, and she for sure doesn't think of herself as a bad person. But that comment was aimed at her new colleague, Lila, who happens to be Black and neurodivergent, and it just exposed a massive blind spot Emily never even knew she had. So what is actually going on here? This is so much more than just a cringy, awkward moment. To really unpack it, we can use Dr. Shunku Magadza's 6 stages framework. Think of it like a diagnostic tool. Now, the framework covers a whole journey of growth, but today we're going to zoom in on that very first and honestly the trickiest part, stage -1. And boom, this is stage -1 in a nutshell. It's called unaware and resistant. This is that tricky place where people with good intentions can still cause real harm. So imagine if someone later told Emily her comment was hurtful. Her immediate reaction probably wouldn't be curiosity. It would be defensiveness. She'd feel like she's being attacked because in her head, she's one of the good people. And these behaviors, they're like a defensive wall that goes up. You've probably heard some of these before, right? Dismissing diversity and inclusion work as just political correctness gone mad. Or the classic, oh, relax, it's just banter. According to this framework, those aren't just random excuses. They are the absolute hallmarks of stage -1. It's a sign of a deep, deep resistance to looking at our own biases. And this brings us to the most important point of all. The framework flips the script from focusing on our intention to focusing on our impact. Emily's go-to defense is going to be, but I didn't mean anything by it. The reality is, you don't have to mean harm to cause harm. Your words can still hurt no matter what your intention was. Stage 1 teaches us that what truly matters is the impact. So how does this one little moment fit into the bigger picture? Well, Dr. Magadza uses this really powerful metaphor to describe the dynamic that Emily just created. It's a story about two caves. First up, you have the cave of comfort. This is where Emily is living. It's a space that's protected by the idea that her way of seeing the world is the normal default way. It's super comfortable in there because she never has to question her own assumptions or deal with the messiness of change. But it's also a place that keeps her separate from others. And then, on the other side, you have the cave of fear. This is the space that Lila was just shoved into by that comment. It's a place where you constantly feel the weight of being different, where a so-called joke makes your workplace feel toxic and unsafe. And to cope, a lot of people just pull back. They isolate themselves just to avoid getting hurt again. And here is the direct, undeniable link. It's not a coincidence. One cave literally creates the other. Emily's need to stay in her comfortable, safe space is the very thing that creates an environment of fear and exclusion for Lila. Okay, but here's the good news. This framework isn't just about diagnosing the problem and blaming people. Its real power is that it shows us a path forward. The goal isn't to shame Emily. It's to actually invite her to grow. And this quote from Dr. Magadza just nails it. Moving out of that cave of comfort isn't about admitting you're a bad person. It's an act of courage. It's about choosing to be a better person. So how does that actually happen? Well, it happens through structured support. People like Emily don't need a lecture. They need a mirror. This means we have to create safe spaces, like facilitated groups, where people can ask the clumsy questions without fear. It means giving them chances to just listen to the real, lived experiences of other people and offering them tools like self-reflection guides to help them see themselves more clearly without feeling attacked.
And this, right here, is where we turn the lens back on ourselves. Because understanding this framework isn't just some interesting academic thing. It's an invitation to hold up that same mirror.
So let's take a second and reflect. Have you ever been in Emily's shoes? Maybe you said something you thought was totally fine, totally funny, and were met with that sudden, deafening silence. It's a moment most of us have probably been on one side of or the other.
And think about what happens next. When someone calls you out or just gives you feedback on your words, what's your gut reaction? Is it to immediately jump in and defend yourself? To say, that's not what I meant? Or can you take a breath, pause, and just listen with genuine curiosity to understand the impact you had?
And let's go even one step deeper. What are the beliefs, the traditions, the privileges that make up your own personal cave of comfort? You know those places where you feel so completely at ease that you don't even have to think about difference? We all have them.
Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about finding the courage to step out of our own comfortable, isolated caves and start building bridges so we can actually understand each other. So the final question I'll leave you with is this. How do you take the comfort and safety that you have, your privilege, and use it not as a wall to keep people out, but as the foundation to build one of those bridges? How do you use your privilege for good?